Hey there, Detroit sports fanatics, and welcome to episode 68 of Taylor's Detroit Sports on Spreaker. I'm Taylor Phillips. You can also find this episode and all other episodes of Taylor's Detroit Sports on iHeartRadio via Spreaker. Add me on Facebook as Taylor Phillips. Like my Facebook page, Taylor Phillips' Detroit Sports page. Join my Facebook group, Taylor Phillips' Detroit Sports Group, and follow me on Twitter at DT2Phillips. Going to recap Game 2 of the Tigers and Royals, which includes a very accurate challenge by Brad Ausmus. It was successfully overturned, plus college football and the Lions. First off, the Tigers beat the Royals 3-2, the score, in Game 2 of the series in Kansas City. Max Scherzer was going up against James Shields. And Max Scherzer pitched 7 innings flat, gave up 7 hits, only 1 run, struck out 6, walked 1. His ERA is down to 3.19. He got the win. Chamberlain got the hold in the 8th inning, and Nathan just barely got his 33rd save, giving up 2 hits in the 9th inning. For James Shields, taking the loss at 14-8. Scherzer's 17-5, by the way. Shields pitched 6 2/3 innings, gave up 6 hits, 3 earned runs, walked 1 and struck out 6. He gave up a home run to Torrey Hunter in the 4th inning. The Royals tied it up on an RBI single by Alcides Escobar to center field. And then in the bottom of the 6th, there were runners on 2nd and 3rd and 1 out. And Omar Infante lines out to Ian Kinsler, and then Kinsler miscommunicates on the throw to Suarez at shortstop. Eugenio Suarez at the bag at second, and the ball got away, and Suarez and Salvador Perez, the runner at 3rd, never tagged up. He went home anyway. He never tagged up on the catch. And the umpires allowed the runner to score. But Brad Ausmus came out to challenge that play. And it took a lot of discussing by all the 4 umpires to make the overturning official. First, the umpires conferred for a couple minutes, and then they went to the video review in the MLB Command Center in New York. in New York. And then they conferred once again for about another minute, and then they called Salvador Perez out at third. And that ended the inning instead of giving the Royals a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the sixth. And we were still, and instead the game was still tied at 1. From there, the Tigers gained some momentum. Brad Ausmus pinch hit Tyler Collins for Brian Holiday. And Tyler Collins hit an RBI single to center, and then Rajai Davis looped one to right for an RBI single, making it 3-1. And that chased James Shields out of the game. James McCann caught the rest of the game starting in the bottom of the seventh, and his only at bat, he struck out swinging in the top of the ninth. He is 2 for 8 in the major leagues. That's not too bad. He's got 2 singles, a stolen base, and a run scored. Jabba Chamberlain pitched the 8th inning and got Josh Willingham to strike out, Alex Gordon to ground out, but then gave up a single to Salvador Perez and threw a wild pitch, advancing pinch runner Lane Adams to second base, and Eric Hosmer drove him home with a single on a line drive off of Chamberlain before former Tiger Omar Infante grounded out. And then Joe Nathan came on to pitch the 9th inning. He got Mike Moustakas to fly out to left, and then gave up a couple singles to Jared Dyson and Alcides Escobar. And then Nori Aoki almost hit into a ground ball double play, but he only grounded out, advancing Dyson to third and Escobar to second. And then Ned Yost decided to pinch hit for Josh Willingham with Raul Ibanez, who grounded out to first baseman Miguel Cabrera, who put the play on assisted to end the game. The Tigers win 3-2 officially, and have now improved to 86-68, while the Royals dropped to 83-70 overall. The Tigers lead Detroit leads Kansas City by 2.5 games in the American League Central Division. And they will try to go for the sweep and a 3.5 game lead in the Central. With Rick Porcello on the mound against Jeremy Guthrie. that game is scheduled for 2:05, I think. Either that or 2:10. It's around the 2 o'clock, the top of the 2. It's around the top of the 2 o'clock hour. The guy that first caught that non-tag up by Salvador Perez was Hernan Perez of the Tigers. He was part of the 40-man roster. Chris Hyatt writes from MLive.com, one could argue that Hernan Perez was the most valuable player for the Tigers in that game, except that he didn't play. And when that happened, Hernan Perez noticed something was amiss, and he apparently was the only one. The only one. He said, quote, and I quote, I was at the end of the dugout so I could see the third baseman and second base. I was looking at the play at second, and when I saw that Suarez missed the ball, I saw Perez, he didn't go back to the base. When that happened, I ran to Omar Vizquel and told him to appeal at third base. And then Vizquel told Tigers manager Brad Ausmus what Perez had told him. Ausmus had the Tigers thrown to third appeal that Salvador Perez had left early without touching the bag. That appeal was denied. Ausmus went onto the field to challenge the call. Whether a player leaves early to tag up on a fly ball is not reviewable. Ausmus argued that Ausmus said this wasn't a case where you're challenging whether a guy left early or not. This is basically a missed base. Except that it's not. It's just that Salvador Perez left really early. Really, really early. That's probably where it should have ended, but it didn't. The umpires put on the headsets and called New York. Major League Baseball told them that the play was not reviewable. At some point during the process, the replay was shown more than once on the Giants scoreboard in center field at Kauffman Stadium. It was clear that Salvador Perez had not returned to third to touch the bag. The sold-out crowd groaned. Another interesting twist is that only close plays that are under review are supposed to be shown on the scoreboard, so the replay probably shouldn't have made its way onto the screen at Kauffman Stadium. Of course, it's tough to say anyone